Created healing pathways for transformation. You can live a life of freedom to be without limitation. Cozy up, grab your tea, and enjoy this hour of expansion, wisdom, and love.
Namaste, hello, and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. I am Jess Juntunen, your host here today on a cozy day, November 2nd, and it is snowing here and beautiful in Upper Michigan. And I pray that wherever you are, it is incredible and beautiful as well. And in this moment, I am just so honored and grateful to be here with you. Soul Fusion Cafe is definitely a place that I was inspired to create for, those of you that are here live, those of you here in the recording, but this is a touchstone and a place to really come into remembrance and soul family and community, and to really live that soul forward life. And, today I was reflecting on beautiful Monday Magic last night. Those of you that are part of Monday Magic just know how incredible that journey was. If you don't know what Monday Magic is, please find out. Go to shriankira.com or drop me an email, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com, and I'll get you a link and information, because you can honestly connect with the full November expanded energies, because last night we received the full November energies, predictions, the Ascension energies for this month, as well as the Ascended numerology. And I will tell you, there is just nothing like the information that is ensouled and brought in through Sri and Kara. And last night we journeyed on journey 3 of the Lost Books of the Essene after that portion of the program, and you can watch it free right now. It's up at YouTube at Official Sri and Kira, and watch the predictions. At least tap into that, but really tap into Lost Books of the Essene, because this hour, the Essene and the Asena have long been a part of me, and well, they're part of all of us. That's the point, right? But I felt that connection ever since I first, had that conscious awareness of the Essene during the Christ experience on our planet. And I was always so drawn, knowing that I spent time as an Essene in those times where Christ consciousness was very alive on the planet, and so much of what they were creating was seeding the energy of the planet for right now. And when I really first discovered the Lost Books of the Essene, these are 12 books that were burned in the libraries of Alexandria. And many, many wisdoms were lost in the libraries of Alexandria. And these lost books were a huge, significant portion. And what is discussed in book 1 of the Lost Books is, that fire doesn't destroy, it transmutes that energy, right? Energy can't be destroyed. So it's out there in the field so that we can tap into it and pull upon it when we are ready and connect to receive beyond density. It's not coming in the form of a paper book or a volume. It's coming in through the divine stream of consciousness and wisdom, where we can access everything. So I wanted to preface this conversation a little bit with that, because, I do talk about the Essene and they're so part of me, but I haven't really dived into it more fully in the show. And because we're doing this 12-week journey with these lost books of the Essene every week, those of you that are in that community know how powerful it is. These books were brought to the planet, like a decade ago, and it's now coming to where they're really being unlocked. And every week we sit with one of these books, and they're not like a full volume novel, although there's so much wisdom, but usually 6 to 8, 10 pages PDF, and they're so rich. You can truly spend so much time, every statement and energy, because they are an energy transmission. And those are one of the most amazing ways that we can activate on the planet, is to connect with direct energy transmissions. When a book or a writing or a teaching has been ensouled, brought in, and by ensouled I mean Master Lady Kira and Sri Ramka. I know many that may be tuning in here at Oneness Talk Radio and my show are part of that community, but maybe you're not or haven't heard of them. And they really truly, it's beyond channeling what they do. And to really be in their presence and to have been in the presence of when an ensoulment has been delivered, I can really attest from firsthand experience that it's not like anything else. And when we channel, we're all channeling energy all the time, right? And we can tune in and we can channel and dive into our soul's wisdom. And I promise we're going to get into this soul expansion of November, the topic of today's show, and what that really means for your journey. And and it really is all spurred by last night's lost book, The Journey of the Divine Soul. And what does it really mean when we talk about soul, and what does that really mean when we're in our mastery presence? So and you can really dive into this if any of it interests you, and watch all of last night's lesson or revisit again and join Monday Magic. You can join free every week and watch and tune in and get the Ascension energy updates. But if you join, you do get the entire up level beautiful PDF, and reading the energy and the words and receiving them in that way unlocks something else. And when you can take notes and things, it's absolutely incredible. And it's like you could donate $1 really to receive this gift. But whatever your heart could give for this whole 12 weeks, to get all those recordings and PDFs, and the money helps people that really need it. And it's really creating pain freedom for a lot of beings, because it's supporting a pain-free clinic and Clinic Linda, where elders can come and receive laser therapy treatments, beings that have been hunched over from working in the fields, and they're like 80, 85, 90 years old, some of them walking, and they're so stooped over. And this treatment, they receive it. The indigenous of Ecuador, I mean, they really receive it and respond so rapidly, because they don't have so many other filters of judgment, like prove it to me, show me. This light therapy does work. Even if you didn't believe it, it's going to have a positive effect. But when someone's open to it, the results are so rapid. So the clinic is overwhelmed, because everyone goes home and tells everyone else, like, it's relieving their pain that they may have had for their whole life. And there's doctors on hand, and like a life was saved the other week, because there's wellness checks and things going on as well, and services and food and all these vital things. And this is just the blueprint of the seed of many more clinics to come. So your donations really help. That's my point. They really, really help. And you can contribute monthly as well, like a regular contributor. If you just want to say, I want to contribute, or you can do a one-time contribution, get in touch with me, go to shriandkira.com. You can learn about it. And the gift of these lessons every week is coming together. And the Essene, and as we dived into last night, the energy of the Essene is much more than that point in history of when Christ was here, and that's where most of us associate the Essene when we talk about Essene energy. However, we are Essene. It is an energy flow. It is pure love. It's pure sincerity. It's pure presence as we are birthed into form. And the soul's journey is really, I loved how last night's book opened up, because really, my show is called Soul Fusion Cafe, and we talk about soul, and we all have our definition for soul. And I loved the opportunity lesson 3 in the lost books of the Essene provided, because again, these are like wisdoms. It's ensouled. It's different than channeling. It's like really divine. We received information. Like when you read it, like a single person or a whole squadron of people could not have written the wisdom and love that is coming through the word choices and the wisdom being delivered. It's incredible. So the Essene are like this beautiful energy frequency, right? And the Essene that birthed the Essene and birthed this whole experience that we're living in and form and journey in. And they're sharing they're sharing directly the Asina to us, that soul. There isn't a definition, because as soon as we try to define what the soul is, we are putting a limitation upon an expansive concept that our mind can't quite understand. And, when we take form here on this planet and we have this beautiful body, we are an energy expression that has taken form. And at that moment, we take on a blueprint, like the beliefs, all of that comes into our being of this world of form. So we are born with identity and labeling and the idea of what God is without even like going and learning it. It's just imprinted basically because of the experience that we have when we enter this realm. And the mastery presence is birthed from, and this is all, I'm uh, really pulling this from last night's lesson, Monday night's lesson for November 1st, and interpreting, and sharing here. Please go read this PDF. And again, catch up with me and I will, um, get you in contact with whatever resources and anything you want. If you go to selfascensionstudios.com, you can fill out my contact form or email me, Jess at Self-Ascension Studios, and I'm so happy to help you out, and yeah, but that concept that we it's beyond the mind again of soul, right? That we can't define it. And that the presence began, like this has been a flow and it's a circle and it never ends. The journey we are on, we are divine love. And we are like just a stream of this beautiful, incredible energy. And that's what so many of us are seeking to remember and connect to really know that we are that love. And when you have the moment that you feel it and you connect to it, it's unlike anything else. You know in your being you have touched divine essence. And the only way to know all of that is to live through it and connect yourself, right? Nobody else telling you about the experience that they had or anything. That can support us to know it's possible. But until we have the experience of touching real divine love in our being and knowing that's who we are, it's like this fleeting thing that we're always seeking out. And so many of us are seekers on this path, and that's what we're really, really are searching for. And November really is supporting us to expand in the recognition of the truth of who we are so that we can really remember our soul and we can really remember the are and allow that to our responses and energies and creations flow from. It's commanding the mastery presence. It's like once you remember you're it, then it's really using it. We are powerful creators, so in all of this cycle of Essene, the love, this energy, the endless flow, at a point, as the Essene describe it for us to understand, right? We had a moment of what they would say is like self-awareness, um, being able to perceive consciously the presence of being. And, so imagine divine love energy is circulating. And there's a moment where it realizes what it is. And it burrs in all the way down. I don't want to say down, all the way over into this experience here of form, where we said, oh my gosh, we can bring this divine love and create itself. And so the oceans and the trees and this beautiful planet were created in a reflection of love itself. And we are these beings and forms that take shape. This coagulation is a word they used to become this form. So really dive into, I really, really please dive into these lessons, because just being with them helps to awaken these remembrances and activate something within. And it's so perfectly timed with the energy right now. So November is the flows. November is all about this flow energy. October 31, last Sunday, was a void experience, a day of time outside of time. And it was a real gift if you're able to just be with yourself and the silence, to just witness, be, and not be in distraction, unplug from distractions and anything that would just kind of pull you out of that space. And whether you're aware of it or not, that was going on Sunday, it's perfect. Whatever has happened, and you can touch into that energy right now if you wish, and just be like, I'm going to spend 10 minutes in just real presence and connect back with October 31. And um, as we do, it's like that void experience and transiting that opened November 1 yesterday. And today, November 2nd, unless you're tuning into the recording, but just trust the timing, is Mercury retrograde is over. It's the last moment of the post shadow phase. We're out of it. We're complete, right? Because even when Mercury retrograde ends, we still have like the shadow, just like when there's a moon. Now we're already in the energy of the new moon. The new moon's just in 2 days, right? There's a shadow period on either side, an energy building and waning of the expression. So Mercury retrograde is having that effect, and it really is about reactivation and just leveling up and stepping into that. and and now it just makes way for this opening into the flows of November that is a flow with December and January. And this can be really beautiful. So I'm wondering what your experience has been like of November so far. Personally, whew, like I feel relief. It really is. October was incredible, and there was contractions and a lot of energies going on to prepare us for this moment. And you might be still feeling some of that, and that's okay. Really, wherever you are is okay, but know that at any moment, this flow is so supportive of you that you can shift into it and just really be here, and enjoy this soul expansion, right? So, yeah, soul, it's a limitless concept that we can't define, and it's an expansion. And when the soul becomes aware of itself, right, that's the mastery presence. The mastery presence birthed this whole experience. And to really call in these flows is to stand in mastery presence. So October, very much contraction energy and this kind of propulsion, because when we contract, expand, we're going through that, right? It's like a bellows or fuel for liftoff. And those of you that are in golden ray and that journey, about the propulsion that's needed to break free of the tractor beam. There's this tractor beam that's got us in our planet. And learn more about golden ray too. Shoot me a message if that interests you. And yeah, it's an incredible moment where we are being gifted and remembering. It's beyond just like, I feel like in many ways we've just been playing with these concepts, trying to remember for a long time, and knowing there's more, and having those glimpses and knowings and connecting, and that spiritual tenacity that has to be present because we have to keep saying yes to it, because there's every opportunity on this planet of form to say no. All experiences are valid, and allness has played out as we have birthed all of this expressions. And like the last books were sharing, every expression is you. If you're looking at something or someone and you don't like what you're seeing, but it's you, right? And that this whole planet is all these expressions of the you, the divine. And we're coming to a place of that, going from being this conceptual knowing, if you've been studying this kind of work, and you like know, and you've touched and you understand and you've had some amazing moments, but you've been like come on, like really give it to me. This is right now the really, really give it to me moment. And that's exciting because for all that have been really seeking and have had to keep saying yes and going, the energy really has been prepared all year, it feels, for this exact moment. So really think about how epic this year has been as we're entering this November energy and the November new moon. And the November new moon on Thursday is an illuminated new moon. Every new moon in 2020 and 2021 has had this gift of being an illuminated new moon, carrying really profound energy for up level and expansion. So this week, we're free of that Mercury retrograde post phase. We're already in the energy of the new moon this Tuesday, building into Thursday. And by the time we hit the full moon in a few weeks, it's going to be a peak up level, huge portal moment. So we really are preparing in many ways and just expanding, expanding, expanding. And this Thursday, the new moon is just going to offer us such an opportunity to really, say yes to who we are, say yes to the soul. And the journey itself is just being your soul. It's really allowing yourself to be in alignment with the soul. That's the journey. And that moment that we're sitting at is where we can say, I really remember and I really claim and I'm really ready to be responsible. And that's the part that I think can hang. It's not that I think, I know it hangs us up when we realize we are responsible. Once we're consciously aware, we're responsible. The whole concept that will come in the Essene books to come, forgive them, they not know not what they do, right? And that energy, well, I mean, we can forgive ourselves no matter what, certainly, but once we're consciously aware, we have a responsibility to uh, follow our soul, right? And to expand consciousness and to respond from that space and to continue to be in integrity and sincerity. It's a much easier seeming choice to stay in density, which so many people are going to do at this time. And density is part of the allness, and it's having a field day. It's eating the fear and it wants more and it produces more fear and anger and suffering, and all of those energies are all out there, so it's really important. If you want to if you're not feeling the flow in November, pay attention, because if you are spending time in mass media or interactions or spaces where people are carrying density consciousness, and not to mention where programming to stay in density consciousness is present, uh, will take you out of that soul expansion journey. You'll still be expanding and contributing to the oneness through your allness experience, and your mastery presence will be enhanced through the gift of the clarity received by going and following the density impulse, and that's all perfect. However, if you're really seeking to be in that greatest flow, those moments where we dip can be really quick. We don't have to stay there, but they just propel our further mastery. And whenever you're not in flow is that signal you've took a little dip. You've taken a little dip. This is the multidimensional awareness. Our mastery presence is being aware that we are a multidimensional being. And that's how it becomes so much easier to just love and forgive this third dimensional form. When we can lift into the fifth and really hold loving compassion around the experience of the third. And when we can lift again into the seventh and really witness that experience of the fifth holding the third, we can have this clarity and non judgment. And then we can lift into the ninth, which we are able to do more readily than ever with this energy that is open on the planet that we really, really have never gotten to experience on this planet of form yet. We've made it farther than we've ever made it in this experience of form. And our consciousness, our consciousness has evolved. And it's evolved past times of Atlantis. If you're, an Atlantis buff, it's past those times where we like really thought, oh, the technology and their awareness was so high. Yes, they had the technology and they had a lot of awareness and connection. However, their consciousness wasn't where ours is now. as humanity is right now. And while many beings are asleep and are enjoying their density nap, what did the Essene say? This will be book 5, my favorite book, in a few weeks. It's that when the lion steps out of the woods, the lion knows they don't have to chase other beings. You can comfort those that are asleep in the woods, right? You comfort them. And this has already been delivered in some of the lessons. Comfort those who are asleep, give them the blanket, tuck them in. You don't want to poke a sleeping bear, right? So many are having that experience and doing exactly what they need. And in our focus on our own consciousness expansion, it's like, just notice, when am I in that flow and when are things not flowing? Because if it's not flowing, where was my consciousness? Had I taken a little dip into density? Did I get a little sticky? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of it never happening again, but it's realizing it and coming back into those flows. And I'm going to open up the call board because I did not get a chance to do that before I launched the show today. And if anybody wants to call in, sorry, this is going to be noisy and there's like nothing I can do about it. Okay.
You have confirmed the start of the conference.
Yes.
The conference will begin when the next party joins.
The number to call in is 517-208-1500. That is 517-208-1500. So if you're catching the show live over at Oneness Talk Radio or at YouTube, onenesstalkradio.com, or you're over at Facebook, hello. I try to pop into the chats and say hello, but the best way, if you want to share something or you would like to receive a mini reading today, 517-208-1500 is the call-in number. And when you call in, you can say, hey, I've got a sharing, or I'd like to request a mini reading, or I have a question about what's being shared. So feel free. It's always incredible and amazing to have community members share, because when one of us shares, there's always something for everybody. And there is an expansion that happens when we witness one another and our journeys and our expansion. And I'm popping over in the chat. Beautiful Yvonne, happy birthday to you. So incredible. And Yvonne, I so agree that TOSA has grown and flourished even beyond some of, like you say, our dreams. I agree. It's the dreams are getting bigger. We get to dream even bigger. How often are we limiting ourselves in our dreams and we didn't even realize, because we're like, oh, well, that's a pretty big dream. We don't even think about going further. And then it gets revealed that there's so much more. And we are in that moment where there is so much more. And Angel and Gary, namaste. Namaste, Mona. Beautiful, beautiful day, and much love to everybody. And if you're catching the recording, hello and welcome. Any moment you're here is the perfect time. And it's really is a perfect, incredible time that we're all here right now. And I'm thinking this incredible being is going to hop on and share with us. I wonder if this is Yvonne. Namaste and welcome.
Well, hi, Jess.
Hello, Yvonne. It is you.
and the whole community. Wow. Very good show. And I concur. Last night's session at Monday Magic was off the charts. It was, I just felt so moved. I had a busy day and I made sure that I was going to be live, and I was. And I really felt the energy lift. I've been going through so much in the last year, good and bad. And I agree, lift and unhook. I really enjoyed Sunday by unhooking from all the medias. I did a breath program with Paula, and which I really enjoy. And other than that, it was off and I enjoyed myself.
Awesome. Oh my God, that's so incredible.
So anyway, it's my birthday, and to start off my another year around the sun, I was hoping to receive a mini soul reading from you.
Oh my gosh, it's my honor. I'm so excited. And, I just got to reflect to you just how incredible the this moment is, and that gift you gave yourself on Sunday of being outside of time, and just how incredible it is to unplug that way and give ourselves that gift and opportunity. I just see how that's flourishing around you and expanding out. So thank you for giving yourself that gift. And I definitely, um, here it is. My cards are close by and they jumped right away when you said reading. So I know there's a card in here. These are the cards of clarity, which I know you know about. Um, these are,
Oh, yeah.
yes, these are the most incredible, amazing cards on the planet. So feeling into this beautiful intention for this reading on your birthday, kicking off this month. And oh my God, Self-Ascension for the heart. So, that is so perfect. You've got the book, you can go read it if you want to, but the heart, right? And that's going to be all this year for you, is going to be this expansion of really anchoring in your heart and your presence in a way that I know that you like have this, and I know it's there, and that's why you keep saying yes, and you've had more tenacity than you thought you were going to have to call on sometimes. And the thing is you just kept saying yes, and you kept getting those confirmations and truths. And it really is, I just see like everything breaking up around you, like anything that was static or clinging, or just that was those hooks that kind of just would kind of just pull you back. Like you felt that frustration, like I'm going, but there's like something pulling at me kind of from behind. They're gone. They're like evaporating. And your ability to command the light, it's like you've always had it, but your remembrance now. And with this year opening up for you, this gets to be like your year. Like this is, I know it's like the year of mastery presence next year, but like this really is like the start of it for you right now, is like, I am claiming my mastery presence and commanding it in a way that you remember absolutely. And in the remembrance, there might be tears and there might be all the feelings, but it's like you're home, like, and your heart really has guided you here, and your heart is just so illuminated and it's so clear. It's like, I just bow before you, and I see so many beings around you that have been supporting you that are also bowing. And I see all of these lights that are like igniting and dancing, because as you are remembering and calling in the truth of who you are and standing in this presence, you're available to help so many more, and they feel it and know it already, and they're coming in around you in many ways and showing up in many different ways. And I just bow before you and celebrate you, and I'm so happy that you're here on this planet, and it gets to be joyful, flowing, and incredible. And I thank you for calling in, Yvonne. Happy birthday.
Beautiful reading. Thank you, Jess. All the best.
You are welcome. Namaste. Oh, incredible. If anyone else would love to call in and you want to receive a mini reading, or you have a sharing or something else on your soul that you want to ask, 517-208-1500. Always incredible and beautiful to share with you. And absolutely, when someone calls in and we have that kind of reading like that, it is for everybody too. It's our mastery presence moment. And next year really is all about the mastery presence journey. Next year is 2022. We've been on this ascension escalator experience since 2015. Those of you that have been tracking with this know, right? Think back, 2015, March 2015. That's when it opened. So March equinox 2022, we're going to make it there, guys. We're going to make it to 2022. There were times where maybe that wasn't so sure. And because you've said yes, because you're here and kept expanding, you've supported this opening. And March 2022, that escalator is going to be taking us to this place. I can't even believe it. I don't know how many of you or tapped into this concept of the escalator. But if you have not, this escalator started in 2015 in March, and it was the beginning. You might have heard of like the twinning Earth and that concept. This is when the Earth really began, or I think it was already begun, honestly, as I tap into that, but it became evident that there was this twinning Earth expansion that's been happening since 2015. We have third dimensional reality, we have fifth dimensional reality, and you could be on either one of these escalators, just escalating into density or escalating into ascension in this multidimensional presence. And it went even faster than we thought, because now we're anchoring seventh dimension, we're anchoring ninth dimension. And I didn't even know there was a ninth dimension when I first started hearing about fifth dimension. I'm sure I thought about what about other dimensions, and they were mentioned, but it was like the fifth dimension was just such a goal. And then we realized we get to the fifth and it's the waiting room, and it's a beautiful waiting room. It's incredible, but there's so much more. We must anchor there in the fifth in order to anchor the seventh, but we can touch any of those dimensions anytime because we're multidimensional. So, it's that twinning Earth experience. And sometimes the escalator, when I thought about the escalator in 2015, I was reflecting the other day, I just thought about an escalator, just that go like an escalator at a mall or an airport. It just goes up and nice, angle, and you get up to the top and you get off. And then I got this image the other day. I kind of want to draw it or paint it, of the escalator and what my escalator anyways felt like. It was not this smooth upward climb that just took me up. It was like the escalator was like a roller coaster sometimes, and spins around and corkscrews and up and down, and touching down and being like, oh, it's third dimension, lift back up. So I feel like we all have our own personal escalator experience, was my revelation. And it's just not this continuous line of just flow. If yours was like that, I'm so happy for you. But mine, it was just wild when I really think about it. If you've been on this journey of the ascension escalator and tapping into this since 2015, or if you're just hearing about it now and you really just think about the last 7 years, like, wow, it blows my mind how much has happened. And some of those years, I had harder, quote unquote, harder years in my life. But it was really challenging because I had done so much work to awaken. But I still found myself like going through so many contractions, so many challenges. And, I tried to like hide at times and get away from from the responsibility or the knowing, and none of that ever worked. And I always came back to it, and it didn't last long, or it was what it was, and it all is perfect. Whatever you've been going through, whatever has gotten you to right now, is all perfect. And when you really recognize your multidimensional presence, your real soul essence, and know who you are, stand in your presence, like aware of that which you are, aware of the fact that you are a multidimensional being, that you are experiencing form, everything changes, and you can have compassion and love for yourself. It doesn't matter if you think you should have known better when you did a certain thing. Maybe you could have known better, like you knew that consciously. I went through this myself. You go through a spiritual awakening, you understand things. I have understood since I was like a child, and many of you probably did too. And then you still find yourself enacting density dramas and ego things that you thought you would never do. It's like the whole, child that grows up in a pattern in their home and they recreate it in their partnerships later, trying to find love. It's like, even if they knew they didn't want the kind of love they saw modeled in their home, they ended up calling it in anyways. Like, that's one example. And then there's this like harshness. It's like, I knew better. Why did I do that? And as we spiritually awaken, we can feel like, oh, I'm never gonna like come down from this place, and we get knocked right down in the muck again, and we're mucking around and we're playing with the pig. And if you play with the pig, you're gonna get muddy, right? So that's density. That's the density metaphor. That's the pig rolling around in the muck. No offense to the pig. It's just you're gonna get dirty, right? So It is just what it is. And this multidimensional awareness, whatever you have been through, whether you thought you were so awake, you shouldn't have done what you did, and you're judging yourself, this is the call for that fifth dimensional compassion right now. That's, it's the opposite of being in the flows, to be in that space of unforgiveness and judgment and rigidity around your judgments towards yourself, not letting things go and not forgiving. And they're going to keep you from being in the flows. And this week, really go watch the predictions for November at Official Shri and Kira YouTube. And the video is pulled out of the Whole Lost Books video that's posted, and you can just watch the predictions and the ascendant numerology. But again, I say watch the whole Essene video, really. But yeah, you'll see in the up level calendar, which is beautiful, for November, that there is this crowning energy that's tomorrow, Wednesday, and that this beautiful dragon, lion, phoenix energy that's rising through November. It's like it takes my breath away. So like it's the moment of putting on that crown of multidimensional experience. It's that moment of, right, the phoenix transmutes, the lion is empowered, the dragon flies. It's this whole beautiful synergy of opening and lifting that is so available to us. And bring that energy to transmute anything that you feel like is still wanting to release from having had this crazy experience of density and navigating. Bring that empowered presence that just loves the third dimension. There can't be any judgment when you're in the seventh dimension, because it can kind of live in the fifth dimension still. And the fifth and third, they're like, it's eroding the fifth in ways. I mean, there's so much fear and density, and there's not a buffer. The fourth dimension is so rich, it just eats off of the third dimension's fears and everything, and it's all eroding the fifth. So, and judgment can still live there, and it can be a little unstable. So it's time to like not only anchor the fifth, but really start looking to anchoring that seventh dimension where there's no judgment and there's clarity, because then the fifth gets tired because it's just holding compassion around everything the third dimensional body is going through. The fifth even gets a little tired. So the seventh can come in and you lift, and there's that clarity, and start letting the fifth relax. It doesn't have to work like that, and letting the body of form to go through its alchemical transformation while loving it, So it really is a moment of forgive, mercy and grace, and this new moon on Thursday, I really hope that you will join me for this. Every month I do a new moon ceremony, and it's up to you if you want to donate or not. I don't turn anyone away. You're not expected to. And a portion of my donations go to Clinica Linda as well in Ecuador. And I mean, it's recommended $4.44 if your heart calls, or whatever your heart calls to give. And again, just come, because it's this beautiful moment where we come together in a community. There's the opportunity to share if you want. You can have your camera on or not. You don't have to, but it's a group coming together in that intention. And we do a new moon ceremony. There's conversation and sharing, and we do some practices together. And then we move into a ceremony where we really anchor and lift into our multidimensional presence together, and a balancing occurs and an expansion occurs, and it's very beautiful. And this month it's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. So those of you that are part of the Golden Ray experience, it will conclude about 5 minutes to 10 minutes till the top of the hour. So we'll be able to just move from the new moon ceremony into the incredible culminating Golden Ray class and ceremony and attunement. So it's a big week for those of you that are on that journey as well. And even if you don't know what that is and you're not on that journey, you're on it with us. And at any moment, if you feel like you want to unlock the Golden Ray in your life, shoot me a message at selfascensionstudios.com. Go to selfascensionstudios.com to register for the new moon ceremony. You'll see it right at the events. You can contact me. You can reach out. If you'd like a discovery call, you're thinking, hey, maybe I want a reading or a session, or I'm going through something and I want some perspective in my life. I do Self-Ascension Intuitive Counselor sessions and coaching and mentoring, as well as many energy modalities. So reach out and hit me up for a discovery call too. Those are 20 minutes to just connect with you and offer you what I can serve you with. And it's an opening if you want to explore anything else. And there is no strings attached either. It's just an opportunity of service as well. So if you've been wanting to have a conversation or connect with me, that's the best way to do it if you really want to chat about all of this and how I might be able to support you. I would be happy to offer that. So selfascensionstudios.com, you can find out all of that information. And please look into Lost Books of the Essene. Please look into the Ascended Numerology Soul Charting Journey that's beginning next week. It's the foundation of the Mastery Presence year journey next year, which I'll be a coach for. There's so much coming. So stay tuned, get on my newsletter, and I will be keeping you updated with everything that's coming forth. And, in these moments before the top of the hour, which is wild, that the show goes so fast sometimes, all the time, just really sit in this moment of what it means to be in my mastery presence. What does it mean to really be consciously aware of the divine expression I am in form? And how do I want my flow of November to look? What am I calling in on this new moon and this week as I put my crown, as I claim my crown? It can only be claimed when you say yes to your mastery presence. So as you are putting this crown on your head this week and the flows are opening, you're saying, yes, I choose my mastery presence. What is your life looking like, feeling like, reflecting? Be in your vision, keep being in that co-creative space. All year long, we've been incubating, and the moment is here. But it does not mean stop meditating on your vision. Keep envisioning, just like, Yvonne was sharing in the chat earlier. TOSA, the Temple of Self-Ascension, has expanded beyond our wildest dreams. It's growing so big that we're going to have healing centers around the world and offering so much. It's just going to be this incredible new earth. It's really also modeling a new way of just doing things, right? And that's happening in all of our lives. It's expanding so much bigger than we thought. And the things that you've been working on and putting your energy into, this flow is supporting it, So every day, like choosing what brings you joy, choosing to connect with your heart and your presence, choosing to align with your soul, and really give yourself just the blessing of whatever brings you into that greater connection. Prioritize that, because if you're not feeling the flows, you're in some other energy that is less than the experience of the true you. You're in some density experience and illusion, and that's okay. The awareness is really what increases our own mastery presence. As soon as we are aware and notice it and shift it and live through it, we've expanded again and anchored even a greater vibrational frequency and vitality. And it's just, and so it goes, so it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful and magnificent. And all of you, I love you so much. Incredible Angel. I'm so glad you signed up. Yay. You'll be there. And Saturday is our Mastery Mentorship meeting as well. Thank you for you that are in Mastery Mentorship. With Shri and Kira, know that every month we have our own personal gathering, which is absolutely incredible. And that's this Saturday as well. It's a big week. It's a big week, and it's incredible how much support we have and what's here for us to tune into and available. And keep saying yes and keep doing it, keep going, keep growing, keep radiating. I love you all so much. It's been an absolute blessing to be with you again. And come join me every Tuesday at noon Eastern here at Oneness Talk Radio and YouTube and Facebook, all the places where you can chat and connect with others and connect with me. And until next Tuesday, I look forward to hopefully being with you on Thursday if you join the new moon, and many of the other places and support that is available to us. Know that we will be together. Have a beautiful, radiant day. Namaste, and many, many blessings.
You've been listening to Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntunen. Connect with Jess and learn more at her inspiration hub, selfascensionstudios.com, and over on Instagram at JoyLoveJess and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, or over at Facebook at Self-Ascension Studios and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Namaste and many blessings.